Hello, everyone, and welcome to Balance. Thank you for joining me. Today I have a guest from Tanzania. Hi, Christine. This is Christine Lott. Can you tell everyone or just talk to me about what you do and where you're from and just tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, well, my name is Christine Lott, and I actually live in Tanzania for 6 months a year, and I'm from Stoughton the other 6 months of the year.
So Stoughton, Massachusetts, one of our neighbors.
Exactly, yes, not far at all. And thanks for having me on the show today.
Oh,
too,
you're
by the
welcome.
way.
You're welcome.
So anyway, yeah, I was just a normal person living a normal life, raising 3 kids in suburbia, Boston, and I don't know, I had some kind of calling in 2007. So I went to Tanzania as a volunteer, and while I was there, I made a promise to a congregation that I'd build them a church. And so the church was built 2009. A lot of stuff happened, during that course in the financial markets, and I knew it was time to do something else and give my life a little spring to it. I was kind of.
Do you ever miss your life here in Massachusetts when you're over there?
Yeah, there's some things I miss. Of course, I miss my family.
Mm-hmm.
I miss the convenience of some things. Working there does have its challenges, it's bumping roads and it's either mud or dust. Yeah, there are some things I miss. I miss the comfort of just being at home. But I have to tell you, when I'm in Tanzania, it's home too. Mm-hmm. And there are certain things I miss about Tanzania when I'm in America.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to ask you next. Are there things that you like better over there or you miss over there?
Well, in America, I work a lot by myself, right? We don't have the nonprofit that we started, doesn't have the resources to hire people in the United States. So I do everything by myself. I raise money, I update websites, I do accounting, I do all the correspondence, I try to keep track of everything. I'm running a school in Tanzania when I'm here, but I do it alone, and it gets pretty lonely. In Tanzania, I have 10 people around me all the time, and it's wonderful. It's just wonderful, and they are the kindest and most gentle
And
people.
that's the 11 people, because I'm including you. That's the whole school.
Right now, yes, that's
Wow.
who we have, yeah.
That's your whole staff.
That's our staff, yeah.
Wow.
And that's, we barely afford those people, but they are the best people, and they understand my vision, and they work really hard for it, whether I'm there or not. And I know they all miss me right now. And I miss them.
Well,
so.
they're doing the school, but they're doing it without you.
Yeah, they're doing it without me.
Okay.
Yeah, I talk to some people every day.
Do they get a summer break like here, or they have school all year round?
Right now, they're on break.
Oh, okay, they are on break.
Yeah, they have the month of June is off. And then they resume in July 1st. And then, so our school year starts in January, right after the holidays. It goes till the end of May. They have the month of June off. It starts in July, it ends in November, and then they have the month of December off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so right now it's winter break, but we do have 8 students, like in a summer school kind of program right now.
And how many students do you have when it's regular school in session?
38 right now.
And you were telling me that some of them pay because it's a private school, but some of them it's almost like a co-op where they volunteer or their parents volunteer to pay. They volunteer as workers.
Right. So they pay, some pay, but they don't pay a full school fee. So
Okay.
it costs roughly about $60 a month to educate every child at our school right now. So some would pay like $12 a month if they don't have the time or the desire to volunteer at the school. We ask them to pay a portion of it because everybody wants to be vested in their own child.
Right.
And free is not necessarily good. So we ask them to contribute a little bit, and we get a sponsor in the United States to sponsor a child at $50 a month to offset the cost.
And you have a website that people can visit if they want
Of course.
to do this?
Yeah. And then we have those that come for free, but their parents volunteer. So they clean the bathrooms, they clean the classrooms, they'll cook 2 weeks a month, the other one will cook 2 weeks a month, someone will do the dishes. So it works out really well. So everyone has some buy-in. And Tanzanians are proud people. They don't want necessarily everything for free.
Oh, so they actually want to work because, like you said, because of their pride and they want to be invested in their child.
They
And
want to be vested in their child, yeah.
yeah,
And it's also nice for the child to see their parent around.
yeah. Oh, yeah, because it makes it more like family.
Yeah, it makes it more like family, yeah.
Now, there were some things we want to talk about the balance between the two cultures and the two lives. There were some things that I really thought were interesting. You told me, like when you go, that transcend or come with you when you come back from Tanzania, that when you go into a store here, you realize that you don't need anything.
That is true.
Okay, so talk to me about that.
So when I'm in Tanzania, my life is pretty simple. I only go to town once a week because I have to, save money. Gas is expensive there, right? So I only buy what I need. And I live a healthier life there. It's a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables, a lot of walking, a lot of being outside all year round because the weather's good. And I realize from everyone I work with and all of my students that you don't need anything.
That's really beautiful.
Yeah.
You don't really need anything.
I mean, you just need what you need,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't need anything more. And that has come back with me. So I wouldn't say I'm a minimalist, but I'm very cautious about spending money. I don't have a lot of money to spend.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very conscientious of waste and, even garbage.
And the environment.
In the environment, yeah. In Tanzania, we don't have garbage pickup. I have to burn my own trash.
Oh, wow.
So I'm very careful about plastic, or even though plastic can burn, it's not really good for the environment. But even glass bottles, it's hard to get rid of them. Cans of any sort, anything metal. So it's a balance there.
And it's better not to buy the packaged things at all, because then you have to remember, well, I'll have to figure out a way to throw this away later.
That's right, and discard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's certain things that I think we do some things well, but I think Tanzania does some things well too.
Well, there's one thing you did that I thought was really smart. You built the school on a farm. So that means that all the food and everything is right there. And that's
Well-
also another job that a parent could do, tending
Right.
the farm.
Yeah, but we haven't cultivated it yet, and we haven't planted anything, but we are working on that. And we're
Well,
gonna
you were
have
telling
some.
me yourself that you had, tell me what you have. You said you had goats and you had a banana tree and
Yeah, we have banana trees, citrus trees, mango trees, yeah, lemons,
and
oranges.
this is your own property.
Papaya. No, my house is on the school, so
Oh,
this
okay.
is, yeah. So
Oh.
we have 3 acres
Oh,
of
okay.
land, and everything is on.
So
it's on there.
everything is right at the school. You're on the school, the
Yeah.
farm is on the school.
Yeah,
That's beautiful.
the school's on the farm. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, and it's nice. We have papaya trees, and we just got a whole bunch of new trees that are being planted as we're speaking. So it's a nice life,
Yeah. So, and you also were telling me that or I was figuring out that you were saying it's a harder life, but it's simpler. That it wouldn't be so hard if that's the only life you ever saw. Like we, as the dichotomy between you being a girl from Stoughton or a girl originally from Brooklyn, seeing how they went to the restroom and how they did certain things. Your first visit, tell me about that versus now being pretty much a local in Tanzania.
Yeah,
Tell
so
me-
my first visit there was a little shocking. I was the vice president at Goldman Sachs, and I was staying with a Warusha Maasai family in their mud hut with no indoor plumbing or electricity. So talk about culture shock, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah, it was hard. I'm not going to lie, it was hard. The bathrooms were up the hill. We got a bucket of water every morning, to wash with, and it was hard. And I had a lot of respect for the woman in the house because she was the one that fetched the wood to start the fire, to fetch the water, to warm the water so we can have a shower. She worked really hard. And it's a physically demanding life. So that was my first impression. And had I not stayed there and lived in such a local environment, I don't know if I would be doing today what I'm doing. But it was really heartwarming to have that experience of a local life.
Yeah. And now that you are basically a local, you think some of the things we do here are insane or not normal. Like your what has become your normal has changed. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, I don't know what my normal is anymore. Is more like it,
Yeah.
right? Because we were discussing earlier that, even it's weird because they said to me when I was even building the school, and we were building teacher toilets, and I said to the contractor, we're putting Weston toilets in there. And he said, why? It's a public toilet. And I said, public toilet, it's just, our teachers and our staff and me are going to use that toilet. And he says, yeah, but that's public. Your toilets are dirty. Like, you actually sit on them, and they're deemed by Tanzanians or Africans in general as unsanitary.
Unsanitary. Interesting.
And full of diseases. And what they have is just a squat toilet. Anyway,
And so the reasoning is because you don't actually sit on it,
it's cleaner.
it's
yeah.
cleaner.
Yeah.
And we would never think of it that way, but it does make sense when you stop and listen to someone else's perspective.
It
So
is,
it's-
but we have Western toilets in
Yeah.
our teachers' bathrooms, just so
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
So I guess that my normal is still my normal, but I do understand why
Why?
they say it's not. And their normal to them is still their normal. My teachers still use the kids' bathroom, where there are squat toilets. I guess it's all what you're used to, right?
Definitely what you're used to. And another thing I guess that shocked you is when you came home and you saw the price of avocados here, or 2 for $5. And what do you pay when you're over there?
I pay like 20 cents an avocado.
See, that alone makes me want to jump on a plane and go to Tanzania. I miss avocados. Can't afford to buy them anymore. They're too much money.
Yeah, they're expensive, and also they're not ripe. They're not like right off a tree.
No,
Well,
I have to put them in a paper bag and wait 2 days
Yeah.
to eat them. So you get everything right off the tree, and
right off the tree, and then in January, February, I have an abundance of mangoes, which is really nice.
But let's talk again a little bit about some of the hardships of Tanzania. I mean, initially, while you were there, they didn't have, in this one village, they didn't have the church, and then the school. What motivated you to build a school, and what kinds of schools did they have before?
All right, so the church and the school are not in the same village. They're a little bit a ways apart.
Okay.
We had to buy 3 acres of land, which is quite a large area, and we had to buy a plot that was affordable. So we are further out of town in a small farming village right now, the village of Mlangarini. There is a local government school about half a mile away, and it is overcrowded. There are 25, I think the statistics from 2015, there were 25 million youth under 18 in Tanzania, and they say that by the year 2025 or 2030, there's going to be 50 million youth. So if schools are overcrowded now, they're going to be way overcrowded later.
So it's just going to get worse.
It's just going to get worse, yeah.
And
So-
is your school all girls or
No, it's both.
all boys
Yeah,
and
it's
girls?
both,
Okay,
yeah.
boys and girls.
Yep, the government, and a lot of people, a lot of NGOs have been focusing on girls for a long time, and the boys have been left behind, sort of. So
Yeah, I noticed that when I was looking online today and trying to study on you. I saw one school that was all girls. I'm like, I don't think this is hers. So yours is everybody.
ours is both.
It's
Yep,
both. And
we do not discriminate.
But you were also telling me one of the issues with the government school, besides the overcrowding, they don't teach them some of the skills they need.
Yeah, a lot of in a lot of developing countries, they teach by memory. Just remember this, it's copy and paste. They don't process their education. So one of my staff's children, I gave them a book and said, it was a story. You read a story, like 5 pages, and then at the back there was 2 pages of questions about the story you just read. And she got to the questions and she was like, what is this? I don't know what this is. And she was in grade 4, and it was like, come on, don't you? But they don't teach comprehension. They don't teach you to think about what you read.
Just spit it back.
Just spit it back. Spit it back. You can say all the words. That means you know what they are,
know
and
what
you're
it
good.
is.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we're going to try and focus, more on vocabulary, what words mean. And
Now, are you teaching English or Swahili?
we teach in English.
Because I read online, and then we talked about it earlier, that to go on to secondary school, they had to know English to take the exams.
Correct.
And so, and in some of the government schools, they don't teach them English.
No, a lot of the teachers don't know English. Even in the secondary schools, a lot of the teachers don't even speak English.
Wow.
So they get, it's funny, I used to pick up children, because if I was going into town in my car and school let out, there would be 100 kids looking for a ride just to get to the closest junction or wherever where they can catch a bus or go home. So I would literally pack 12, 15, 18 high school kids in my car. It would be packed. And I'd say, okay, kids, I'm giving you a ride, but I want to know, how's your English? How many of you speak English? And I would always talk to them. And out of that 18, one would be able to answer me.
Wow. And so that was some of the motivation about, well, maybe if I built a school.
Well, I was already in the process of building a school, yeah. And that just reiterated the need,
It's
because
just sealed
English
the
is a
deal.
universal language. You
Sure.
can go anywhere in the world.
Well, sure. When I'm in a group of people where they all speak a different language, if they want to talk with each other, all of a sudden English becomes that common language.
and you
common
need that. And
denominator.
in Tanzania too, it's big on tourism.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, there's the Serengeti and Mount Kilimanjaro, and if you want to ever get into that sector, whether it work in a hotel or work anywhere, you have to know English if you want to do any international trade or anything. English is the language.
Well, okay, yes. Like you said, if it's a big place of tourism, they have these destinations and beautiful things. And so going back again to what you said, because I want to reiterate this, where you said you don't need anything, but when you told me that the first time, you said, I look out my window and I see, what do you see? And when you're in Tanzania?
Oh, I see a beautiful mountain, and I see flowers and trees, and it's just a beautiful landscape.
Yeah.
The monkeys are looking in my window
Wow,
sometimes.
so you
and
see
stuff.
cool
Yeah.
animals too.
Just monkeys. I don't know if they're cool. They're more of a nuisance.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the thing.
If I left my
whatever your
front,
normal is, here we have to go to the zoo to see a monkey. But I guess the first week or so, I would be all excited to see a monkey every day. But then after a while, I guess they'd become like your squirrel. Your monkeys are like your squirrel.
yeah, they would come in and eat my bananas. Yeah, absolutely. They'd come in my house. They're really smart animals. I mean, they're just smart enough to even peek in the window before they come in. You
Wow,
know?
to see if she's
See
there?
if she's home. Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's really great.
They're really smart. And you try not to leave any food outside. So we have housing for volunteers and visitors and stuff. So they're like luxury camping tent kind of things. And we encourage people not to put food in the tents because the monkeys even figured out how to open the zippers.
Oh, they know how to unzip things. Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And so, and again, though, some of the advantages of living there is you walk more, you eat healthier.
It's more social.
And it's much more social.
Much
Okay.
more social, yeah. People are out and about. People actually see each other. I find being here, everyone is cloistered into their own homes.
Well, with
and
your
busy.
staff of 10, they all speak English.
Not all, but most. We get by. I have Google Translate on my
Oh,
phone.
you do?
And,
Okay, I was going to ask you.
and a lot of
everybody-
times they say, okay, and they walk away and have no idea what I said, but they make me feel good.
Okay. So you communicate in some way is what I'm saying.
Yeah, some
Okay,
ways, yeah.
okay.
And it's just nice having them around.
Because
You know,
when you're
and-
here, you're all alone.
Yeah, I mean, my husband's here, but I work by myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I work, I'm out fundraising and doing all sorts of things, and we have lots of volunteers, but it's not a business partner that I can talk to and share things and say, hey, can you do this for me, or can you do that for me, or let's work on this together. And that's the hard part.
What are some of the fundraisers that you've had locally, I guess, here?
Well, we run a food concession at Gillette Stadium for
Okay.
concerts and for all the football games. I sell Tanzanian art.
Which is how we met.
That's how we mark, yeah.
I met
All
her
around.
Walpole Day.
Yeah.
Beautiful artwork and beautiful things.
Yeah, so I go all around the metropolitan area and in Boston. And then we're going to have a fundraiser in October. And I think it's going to be in Norwood. I don't know,
Okay.
my board's working on that.
And so you do have a board of people, and those people are here?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a board here and we have a board there.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to in both places, and we have 2 sets of books.
Do you know the location of the place, the fundraiser in Norwood, or not yet?
We're not yet. It's either going to be at the Space Center or it's going to be at the Fallout Shelter. It's
Oh.
one of those 2 places.
Okay.
We're
I
not
didn't know they had a space center in Norwood. That's interesting.
Yeah, they do. It's a
Okay.
big open space. So
Oh, okay.
check our website for more information.
Yeah, I will. And well, tell me again what that website is.
www.tanzaniaschoolfoundation.org.
Okay. Very
Yeah.
cool.
And it's beautiful, and if people ever want to come, and if you want to come and volunteer in Tanzania,
Yeah.
and we have this like volunteerism program where you volunteer a few days and then you go on safari for a few days, and
So
you
if you
kind of
volunteer, I guess your room and board is paid for, but you have to pay for your flight over there.
it's $300 a week to stay with us. That
Oh,
includes your airport pickup,
okay.
it includes your food and all that stuff. Yeah.
Okay. But the actual ticket
you have
for
to
the
pay for it
you
too.
pay for,
Yeah.
and then it's $300 a week that you pay.
Yeah. And then if you wanted to go on safari or anything additional, that would be extra, yeah. But it's a beautiful country. The people are wonderful, warm and friendly.
Yeah. Well, and I think the biggest lesson I've learned is that, you know, we don't need anything. And I think as soon as people learn that, you find that they can be more generous. Because it's like if you don't need that extra lipstick or that extra bag of potato chips, which are bad for you anyway, or that extra whatever.
Yeah, I mean, how many people need a
Extra
you know,
drink at the bar.
Yeah,
If you don't need those things, then you can start sharing more money with people in Tanzania who really do need everyday living things.
yeah, well, for a little bit amount of money, you can really change your life.
Well, yeah, and living there, you said it was very cheap. You can live very cheaply and under the
Well,
grid.
locals could. I
Yeah.
mean, but that wouldn't get your child a good education or
No.
anything, right? But you can survive. But I mean, even if somebody here wanted to change a life in Tanzania, they can donate $50 a month and send a child to a good school.
Oh, I'm saying if they wanted to donate, it's not that much.
No, it's not that much.
Okay.
You can give up a half a coffee every day, you know, go from a large to a small, and the difference you'd save would sponsor a child and save a life.
Okay. So about 50 a month.
50 a month, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a beautiful country, and balancing, you know, the hardest part about coming and going is the transition.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard leaving any place, right? After you've been there for 2 months, you get quite comfortable in where you're at, and then
Yeah.
it's picking up and going and putting
Well, I bet
yourself in
even-
another place.
Even
and-
the airport would be culture shock because things are probably a little slower pace there.
yeah, it's hard to
simpler,
get. Yeah, it's hard. There's not a lot of stuff like.
And
There's no Amazon in Tanzania. You know, I miss Amazon when I'm there. If you want to talk about, you know, even just stuff for the school, you know.
right, but
I want
even
something delivered right to my
when
door,
you're-
you know.
when you're comfortable in your little house, on your little farm, in your little school at Tanzania, when it's time to go home to Stoughton, the minute you walk into the airport, it gets hustly and bustly again.
Yeah, well, I have.
The energy level changes. Yes,
When I get to Amsterdam, it's like, okay,
I'm not in
half-
Tanzania.
I'm not in
anymore.
Tanzania anymore. That's exactly right. And then it's nice in a way that there's a 24-hour flight, trip home, because I get to flip the switch.
Oh, so you don't have connecting. You just do the 24-hour. Well, it takes that
No,
long.
it takes not that long. I
To get
connect in
there.
Amsterdam, yeah. So
Oh, okay.
I-
It takes that long to. So the 24 hours is your time to decompress and say, and like you
Okay,
say,
and then turn Tanzania off if I'm coming from Tanzania, and put my United States head back on. And when I'm leaving the United States, I literally have to flip the switch for the United States and start focusing on what I need to do in Tanzania.
so the flight alone there is 24 hours, and then from just to Amsterdam, and then to go.
No,
to,
it's 24 hours door to door.
Oh,
From my
okay.
house in Stoughton to my house in Tanzania,
Oh, okay, okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. The transition's the hardest part. Once you're there, you're fine. It's just the anxiety of leaving behind what's been familiar to you for the past 2 months and going back to like a strange land.
Yeah.
Even,
And when is Amsterdam? You go from Tanzania.
to Amsterdam.
Oh, okay. So that is the first stop, and then
yeah, and then
24
Amsterdam to Boston.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's the route.
But you've been doing it now for how many years? 8 years? so?
8 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm supposed to be going at the end of this month. but the airfares are really expensive. So I think it's even going to be longer for me this time because I think I'm going to fly to Nairobi,
So you're getting homesick for Tanzania.
overnight in Nairobi, and take a bus to Tanzania.
Oh, that won't be bad.
No.
Okay, so
It'll
then you're
save
still
me
gonna
like
go, but
save
you're
me
gonna go a different
$700.
route.
Yeah,
Okay.
taking along. So it's not going to take me 24 hours. It's going to take me 40 hours.
Oh, wow. Because of the bus.
The bus, yeah, and the
Um,
overnight, yeah.
Well, tell me a little bit more about the kids.
They're charming.
And do they think of you as kind of as a mother figure? In
They
a way?
do. Even my staff looks at me like a mother figure, you know.
Because there are
and-
probably a lot of young people.
Yeah, my staff is all young, you know. It's nice to mentor them and to teach them, and even, you know, in Tanzania, like stupid things, there's, you know, the plastic pipe in the ground that connects your water has a hole in it. So in Tanzania, if it has a hole in it, they fix it by putting a stick in it. Oh, it's not leaking anymore, you know, and that's not the right way to fix it because
No.
the hole will just get bigger and bigger and the stick will deteriorate, and then they'll put some rubber around it, and that's not fixing it properly. So it's nice to be able to teach them. And they don't do it the right way because they don't have money to buy a little piece of pipe and 2 connecting joints and to fix it properly.
Well, and it's probably not that easy to get to an Ace Hardware and get the
Right.
proper materials anyway. They grab what they can. They grab a stick.
A stick, right. But when I'm there, I bought, like before I left, I bought a whole bunch of connectors and a whole bunch of pipe, and I left them with a hacksaw. If you have any problems, here you go, now you know how to fix it.
Yeah.
And now, you know, it's just, you know, I'm trying to teach them how to do things the right way and that it is possible. But we'll see. I go back at the end of the month.
too, talking about what's the difference, what's normal and what's not normal. There's also the Tanzanian way and the U.S. way, and neither way might be the right way, but yeah, the more efficient way, I guess.
It's more efficient, and I'm all about efficiency. You know, I don't want to have to replace something twice. You know, let's fix it once. You
Yeah.
know, and let's do it the right way. We just drilled a water well, and that was really exciting. And we had a donor who donated the money to drill it, and we were very grateful for that. But even that was a learning curve because there's valve that goes this way, a valve that goes this way. There's village water. The valve is turned off because we don't want village water.
Yeah, there's so many things.
And there's little things, and they're like all confused, like what is going on here? Because they don't know about having any water because they go to the river to get water for home, you know. And
Well, that's what I'm saying. We take for granted so many things here.
and even our school campus is getting a lot of infrastructure put, which is great. You know, people are donating and helping us grow, and that's what we needed. So we'll see. Let's see if it's maintained. You know, I'm teaching them once you have all this infrastructure, and we have a beautiful school building, we need them to take care of it. And I don't want it to look like a dilapidated building.
But it's cool that you've also respected their culture too, because like you said, they're a proud people, so you let them put a hand in to help.
Yeah, absolutely.
And become vested in the whole project, not just their child, but the school itself.
Yeah.
That's really great. I'm really impressed with everything we talked about and the life path you chose, and hope that you inspire other people that are listening today and watching today. And I
hope
want to
so.
thank everyone for watching Balance today, and I hope you enjoyed our new show with Christine Lott. Again, thank you for being my guest today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It was a
Yeah.
pleasure.
Yeah, it was really interesting.